So, hi, my name is Frederic Harper. I'm a consultant at No Lion is Born King, my own company. So basically, I'm helping a company to do business development, help them with outreach, visibility, but always in the tech industry because I'm in the industry for 12 years, 15 years, basically doing software development. In the last couple of years, I was doing technical evangelist at a company like Microsoft and even Mozilla. So I always like to go in the open space, but also play with any other technology.
You've worked as software architect, right?
Yeah.
Maybe you can explain to people a bit what that is.
Yeah. So actually, it's funny because when I was an architect, my title was architect, and we got phone call from people asking us to build houses, and they wanted to have plans to build their new dream house or whatever. And basically, it's a little bit what software architect does. Actually, at the end of the day, if you want to have a great house, if you want that house to stay up for years or whatever, you need to make plans. You need to think about what you're going to use, what tools, who's going to help you to build that house. And when it comes to software development, it's the same thing. You need to have great foundation. You need to understand which frameworks you're going to use, which technology you're going to use to fill your need. So if you don't have great foundation, if you don't think about how you're going to build that software, that may work at the beginning, but at some point, the software may have a lot of bugs, you may have a lot of issues, there's probably a lot of things that you did not think about. So the architect is kind of like the grandmaster of how we're going to build that application. It can go from the hardware side of things, or more on the architecture, more on the software side of things.
Is there some project you can point to that they had a great vision and they were able to deliver on that vision?
Actually, I would say that what's interesting, if you want to understand more about like the software architect role, go online, and there is a lot of project called boilerplates, and they're just like starter for project. They're not quite complicated. It's not like big architecture involving like many computers or many data center or cloud, but it's mostly like, hey, I want to start to do HTML, CSS, JavaScript project. I can find the HTML5 boilerplate and use it. If I want to start a new ASP.NET MVC project, I can find a boilerplate that's going to help me. So it's not architecture in the sense that, hey, what are the hardware, server, and everything that I'm going to use, but mostly about like how I can start on a good ground, the basic stuff for my application. So that could help like architect to start a good project, but that could also help a software developer to understand more how to start with a new technology, right, at least on a good basis.
Yeah. And in your experience, is there a project or a challenge that you overcome that you found really fulfilling, the way you found solution to it?
Actually, it's quite interesting because most project, I always found most projects unique in some ways because you always work with different people in different industries. But I would say that anything that goes around banking, or I would say more, I don't like to say this, but old-fashioned type of industry, it's always a little bit harder because you have more constraints that you would have when you work with the latest cool startup that are all in any technologies. So you need to think about like security, you need to think about like version of software they're going to have access to. There is even places where you cannot have anything outside of the building. You cannot use the cloud, you cannot go on Azure and Amazon, you need to have on-premise. So thinking about those technologies is not quite easy, and there is some time where you need to do integration with other like server outside, with other information that are coming from different systems. And sometimes you don't have all the information you need, so you need to work with different teams. So basically, the biggest issues that I got in the past was working with a customer where I did not have access to anything, so I had to do requests all the time to give me a new column from the database, and they were modifying the web service, and every time like I did not have access to everything I needed. So we had to think about the architecture that, yeah, we don't have access to that information. We need to always like get the data, and it's not when we want, because we had access at different time of the day. So you need to rethink your way of like, hey, how can I get the data? How can I optimize the moment that I can get that data, that I can like analyze the data and really make it like work for our application. So it's all those constraints. I would say it's mainly case to case, and in that case, when you have those kind of issues, just like talk with your peer and like Google. Google is your best friend at some point, so you better have like, maybe you have a lot of experiences, but it's you always have cases where it's like, what should I do?
Yeah.
What can I do?
A lot of creative planning.
Exactly, and the more experience you have, the more ideas, the more creative you're going to be, and a bigger network also you're going to have.
Great. Well, thanks for speaking.
My pleasure.